a firm believer in landscape photography. There's no such thing as bad conditions. The location that I'll get to on this headland before darkness arrives. I have my tripod, quite janky, so I might get a touch of colour, but that makes no difference because I'm going to be doing all this in monochrome, black and white anyway. I'm also feeling some raindrops on me here, so it is getting quite dark. Don't let this camera fool you. Flat, it's grey, many layers of clouds, but there's rocks that are just sitting up on top of the cliff. I don't know how they got there, how did they get broken up there, but it's just quite phenomenal. So it looks like a bit like a sea urchin, and if you're thinking about going, just go.
Even when conditions don't look promising, there's always a shot waiting to be found. You never know exactly what you're going to get until you get there, but it's always worth the effort. The key is simple: just go. You won't regret going, but you might regret not.
Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. Now, today, as I was driving down to my location, I knew that I wasn't going to get nice conditions. So as I was driving along the road, I noticed, number one, there was heavy banks of cloud, and then number two, I noticed that the ocean was flat, calm. Now, I did get a small bit of light as I was going into Dingle, and of course, when I arrive in Dingle, I have to call in to see my good buddy and pal, Yarrow, in Kerry Views. So he has a store I always call him to visit every time I go to Dingle. Now, continuing on out the road, what I've now done is come to an area that I've been to many times before, and it is just close to Clogher Beach, but I've never gone to where I am right now, so I've often seen a pathway, and today I figured I would go and take that walk. And where we are on that pathway is over this direction here. As you can see behind me, I've got the views outside here of An Tiaracht and on Far Marv, and then just below me as well I have a lovely gully or gorge. Now, I'm a firm believer in landscape photography. There's no such thing as bad conditions, and if you look at the sky here, it's flat, it's grey, many layers of clouds, but that's good because that will allow me to be able to add mood. So what I'm going to do today is probably go from the lines of moody monochrome or moody black and white images, and the first image here is what I've got behind me, and I'll give you a look at it here, and then I'll set up my first shot and I'll talk you through what I'm going to get for today. Right, so I have my first shot set up now, and as you can see here, I have my tripod, quite janky, so I've got the center column extended to the highest because I want to get over this bank that you see in front of me. But the view looking out this way I think is quite nice because you've got a triangular stack. If I come around, actually I'll turn you around and I'll give you a look here. So you've got this triangular stack here which effectively is mirroring, and you can just make it out here on Tiaracht. So I'm just lining those up and moving the camera into this pretty much position, and if I now zoom in here just to give you a view, oops, sorry, wrong button. If I now zoom in here, you can see An Tiaracht there, and then you can see that little stack. And now with that gully as well, what I've decided to do is to change my perspective, and I'm gone into 1:1. So it'll still take the photograph in the standard 4:3, but to allow me to be able to see on the back of the camera, I've put it into 1:1 crop. And the reason I got into 1:1 crop is because I don't like all of this down here, and obviously the sky is non-eventful, that bit of a cloud looking nice texture. But also what I've done is I've gone for a longer exposure. So I'm up to 25 seconds here at f11 ISO. I've dropped down to 50. I've got my polarizer on, and I also have my 6-stop equivalent. But I do think this will be a nice frame and a nice first shot anyway to start off from here. Now, incidentally, where I am right here, so over here is the Three Sisters. To the right of that is Ballydavid Head in the clouds. As always, I suppose you've got the mountains here, and then over this side you've got more cloud. Up here is Clogher Head, and Clogher Head on that direction as well up there. And then you've got on Far Marv, which is just outside on top of the headland here, and then over just here you've got Ceann Sibel. So it's quite interesting and all the things that I can see from here, but I'm going to continue along this pathway here and see, you know, what more opportunities I can find. I'd like to get out to this bit here next and then take a shot at that stack from below. But yeah, first shot in the bag. I think it's nice. Again, like I say, it's going to be a monochrome shot. It's going to be moody with the clouds, and yeah, I'm going to make sure now I've got it nailed before I move on. I am just under an hour until sunset, but there will be no sunset, so all effectively is going to happen today is it's going to get darker. But that's going to be fine, because that means I can increase my shutter speeds as well. So we'll see what else we reveal as we take a walk around this headland. So where I am right now is over on that bit of grass jutting out headland that I showed you when I was in the last position. And now the stack is below me here, but it's been lost because it's been connected into the mainland itself. But what I do like is I've got all of these that are over here, and on a long exposure actually they're turning out quite nice. Now I've gone from my 1:1 to a standard 4:3, but I might end up actually going for a 16:9 here, because I don't know if I like having this in the shot at the very end. Now I'm also feeling some raindrops on me here, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get any light, number one, or if I'm going to get rained out. But still, at the same point, when the rain comes, I think that's going to add even more mood. I have my rain jacket, so that's fine, always come prepared. But the important thing, I suppose, really from this is, you know, just get out, go, because if you don't, then you don't know if you're going to get anything or not. And even right now, looking at these, I think they're quite nice. Settings at the moment: f11, 30 seconds, polarizer, and my 6-stop equivalent, and that's smoothing out all of this water, getting the texture as well in those clouds, and I do think it will be a nice shot. I'm going to go over here now next, and yeah, we are 35 minutes until darkness. But we'll see if I can get these stacks that are over here leading out from the top of that over there. I think that might be nice as well. I don't know if I can get out far enough to be able to get them in, but we'll give it a go anyway. I've never been to this before, but we'll see how we get on. Here's the next shot now. As I was leaving this spot to head over there, off the grassy area, just to the right hand side of it, I spotted this below me here, which is a nice outcrop of a rock. And then also in front of it, you've kind of got an unusual shaped rock as well. I think it's probably remnants of some sort of flower, but it looks like a bit like a sea urchin. And that attracted me. And then also these over here also brought me into the scene. Now, because I'm still shooting in the same mode as earlier on, I was able to go for a long exposure and, you know, make that water a bit like glass. And because I'm also going in monochrome, it will be nice because when I edit these, I'll edit these in very much so high contrast. So this rock below me here, I think, will be very prevalent because it's going to be the brightest thing in the entire frame. Now, that's another advantage as well as shooting when you're in overcast conditions like this, is because you're not dealing with any highlights. So you've got complete control. It's like a giant natural softbox that allows you to be able to, you know, do your longer exposures here and not have to deal with any parts of it being overblown. Now, where I am going now next is just over to here, and yeah, I think I'll get a nice shot from there. That probably will be the last location that I'll get to on this headland before darkness arrives. I won't say sunset because you can see here it is completely socked in, but we might get a touch of colour, but that makes no difference because I'm going to be doing all this in monochrome, black and white anyway. So yeah, here's the next shot here now, 30 seconds, and I was at f8, so it's getting darker, but yeah, give you a look at this and we'll head over there next. now that I'm over where I wanted to come, I think it's actually a nice composition because I've got all of these here leading me out to the scene, and I can just see on Farmarv, and I can also then as well just see at the very edge of the headland there on Tiaracht. Now it is getting quite dark, don't let this camera fool you, so there's very little light, and at the moment here now I'm at 30 seconds and I'm shooting at f11. I still have my filters on as well here, so I'm able to get 5 seconds more than what I was earlier on at the same settings. But looking out there now, I think it's going to end up quite dull because looks like rain out covering on Tiaracht, so I think it's probably going to lose all of my light. Now on the other side to me over here is Ceann Sibel, and then just off of that here, I'll give you a duck, turn it around, just off of that there's a small bit. If I zoom in and give you a look here, oops, again, I keep getting the wrong button. Apologies. So that little piece here is something that I was shooting last year when I was here with Michael, Maz and Nigel, and we were getting the waves that were breaking against Ceann Sibel. Now we were shooting that from up over here, so we had our 400mm. But with that in mind, what I think I might do actually is throw on my 70-200, and I think that is going to give me a nice longer exposure shot as well of that. But yeah, now anyway, here's the next one here. I do like all of these rocks, and actually all of the rocks around me is quite incredible. They're all loose rocks. Now this has gone through so many different iterations of storms, but even behind you there's rocks that are just sitting up on top of the cliff. I don't know how they got there, how did they get broken up there, but it's just quite phenomenal. So I don't want to venture out this part over here and out to that little piece of an exit on the edge because all these rocks I think could be quite loose. So where I am right now is just off the path, so the grass behind me here, so I haven't come that far, so I'm safe anyway as it is. But yeah, here's my next shot here now. I'm going to throw on my 70-200 and I'm going to get a shot of that as well, and I'll talk to you once I get that set up. Here's the shot. Right, so I've put on my 70-200 now, and I've gone into 200mm. I'm just isolating that singular stack. I think there's some great shapes on it. It's also like a cave going into it as well, and then one solitary spike sticking up on the left hand side of it. But I still don't have an adapter to be able to put on my filters onto this here. I should actually get one, but times me using it is quite slim. And there's a number of reasons for that, because even with the wind that's here, with a longer lens and you're zoomed in, you're going to have more movement when the wind is catching. Even though the tripod that you're on right now is a solid tripod, you're still going to have movements. So I decided to go handheld, grab a shot of that. Again, it'll be edited in monochrome, but it won't be a longer exposure, and I still think that that's going to be a lovely shot also. Now, I'm here for tonight, I'm here in the morning, and then I've got a 1-to-1 in the area as well. So I know that I'll be drawing on the monochrome idea for my client as well tomorrow, because again, there's always going to be a shot, as I didn't break my lens, hit the side of it off the rock, but there's always going to be a shot anyway. But yeah, here's this one here now. Thank you very much, as always, for joining. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed the shots that I managed to get on a day that most people wouldn't come out in. And that's my philosophy always. There's no such thing as bad conditions. There's always going to be a shot. And if you're thinking about going, just go. And that's my advice that I can give you from today. So thank you very much. Like I said, thank you very much for watching. If it's your first time on the channel, please do consider hitting the subscribe button, give me a like, give me a comment. And if you want to join me on a one-to-one in this beautiful area or one of my upcoming workshops in February, I'll leave a link in the description below. So thanks very much, everybody. Slán go fóill. GoPro stop recording.